Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. As we move back into the back half of November, especially from November 20th through the month's end here in Michigan, things are shifting in the deer woods. And if you're still out hunting, if you've got tags to fill, or if you're just simply looking to tag a good buck, now is the time to adapt your strategy. I want to walk you through what's really going on in the woods, how deer patterns are changing, and what you need to do to put yourself in the right place at the right time. So things are a little different. Let's talk about what's changed since early November. In the first 2 weeks of November, deer movement tends to be intense, especially as the rut winds down. Bucks and does are active, they're chasing, they're scraping, and that means a lot of pressure. But by November 20th, a few things begin to shift. Hunter pressure often starts to ease. Less hunters are in the woods because many weekend warriors have filled their tags, or they're just turning their attention towards maybe Thanksgiving or prepping for December or just wrapping it up. They'll put their stuff away, maybe they'll get it out one more time for muzzleloading. Now because of that, the woods have less pressure, they're less congested. Fewer hunters means deer, especially bucks, can use more of their typical travel corridors without constant disruption. Younger, less experienced bucks, yearlings, 2.5-year-olds, they're more likely to have been already harvested, or they just become more nocturnal or cautious under pressure. Meanwhile, older, wiser bucks, those bigger, gnarly, more experienced deer, are still very much in play. They know the woods, they've been down this block before, they know the patterns, and they'll exploit the reduced pressure, the lack of human intrusion. That's going to make them want to move more. So we're talking about less pressure in the woods. We're talking about bucks that know, mature bucks that survived in the early season. They're often more secretive, but they're also more confident. They know where does bed, where to move, and how to minimize their risk. When you watch one move through the woods, they just move differently. Now you may want to shift because as the rut cools, bucks may break off from chasing zones and return to their core areas, food sources, bedding cover, funnels, pinch points, the places that you found them in the beginning of the season. And if you've mapped out these travel corridors, the food transition zones, or the timber edges or the thickets, now is the prime time to key in on them. So look for low light movement, but also midday and late afternoon shifts. With less hunter activity, deer may take advantage of these safer, quieter times in the midday. You can check your trail cameras and see that. Now, some does may already be bred, but others might still be moving, especially younger does, because bucks that didn't breed the first cycle with these does, they're still going to be chasing and cruising, and they need to be bred. So some of these stand placements need to be moved or just abandoned because it's just different now. You want to reevaluate your tree stands, your ground blinds, and focus on the funnels and the edges and the pinch points, the food to the bed transitions. Consider shifting stands if pressure was high earlier in the month, because even attractants and rattling and things, you really want to be careful because these bucks have been running in on rattling with hunting. They've been smelling a lot of different scents, and that can almost spook them sometimes. So just be careful if you want to use your grunt, or if you're going to choose to rattle still. And expand your hunting times. Don't just hunt dawn and dusk. Midday, it may be more productive. Like I said, check your trail cameras. Also consider afternoon sits when fewer hunters are out there. And pay close attention to the wind direction. Of course, access, you still need to stalk your way to your stand. You still need to check those weather changes. Those big weather changes can trigger extra deer movement. And since pressure is easing, try to be stealthy. Again, still stalk your way in and out of the woods, but don't overthink it. Deer are already adjusting to fewer people. Sometimes being present in the right place is more important than being hyper stealthy. I think we should reiterate about the big bucks moving. You're more likely to see big bucks right now because, as I mentioned, mature bucks are more likely to stick around later in the season. Those are the deer that survive the early season pressures. Because of their experience, they just know what's going on. Also, many younger bucks, they're already off the landscape. They've either been harvested or they're pushed into these nocturnal patterns, which reduces the competition, which makes these bucks even more comfortable moving. So for guys looking to tag their best buck yet, this is one of the best times. Experienced bucks and less pressure, that's an awesome opportunity. But to capitalize, you need to be patient. adaptable, and willing to hunt a different rhythm than opening day. And so many deer are being harvested. A lot of people, it's hard to fathom how many deer are being removed from the woods. You know, in 2024, during the 2-week regular firearm season, and we're talking just 2 weeks, Michigan hunters harvested 133,374 deer. That's a massive chunk of the overall annual harvest, meaning that the early part of the season takes a huge toll on the deer herd, especially younger bucks. So some of you might be wondering, should I just wait until December? And that's a good question, because there is a case to be made in early December. I get excited about the first week of December. All over again, deer, they might be moving again because they want to be bred, because the deer that didn't get bred on the first cycle will need to be bred on the second cycle. But waiting comes with trade-offs, because snow, colder conditions, those are harder hunts. And there's shorter hunts too. The days are getting shorter and potentially even different movement. You may even have to scout again. So my advice is don't abandon November entirely. The window from November 20th to the month's end offers a unique sweet spot, and experienced bucks, cooling pressure, and the chance to capitalize before things potentially slow down in December. I think that's a pretty good opportunity. So if you still have tags or just want a real shot at a mature buck, now is the time to lean in. Reassess your stand placements. Be smart about your scent and your rattling and your grunts. And you know, I actually put my grunt down this time of year. Like I always say, the deer adjust, so the hunter should adjust too. If you found this helpful, drop a comment below or send a message. I'd love to hear about what's working for you and your property. So harness in, have a safe hunt, and good luck this season. I hope you guys shoot a deer that you're proud of, and we'll see you on the next video. Hi everybody, it's 11:30 and the wind was acting funny, so I had to get down from the tree stand again. I don't know what's been going on this year. The Weather Channel has been maybe leaning on more technology or something. They've been getting it wrong. And I'm sitting down on the downwind side of a bedding area, hoping that a buck comes out and he's gonna scent check in this afternoon. I'm setting up specifically waiting for a buck to come into this bedding area to check. Now there's thickets all around here, so this is gonna be a close encounter. It's November 14th, so this is our last chance to get a buck before gun season morning. Lots of bucks are going to be harvested tomorrow. A majority of the bucks are harvested on opening day. A lot of people go out for opening weekend, and then that's it. That's their holiday. A lot of people don't hunt as much or as hard, and often these days people are hunting a lot less. You know, there's a lot of people using technology, and instead of hunting hard, they're just working hard at collecting intel, data. It's basically a new age way to do things. I mean, even at work, you'll notice that there's all this software now to collect data. They want to know when the job started, how long did it take, when did it get done, and there's times and date stamps for all of that. So, kind of makes me wonder, is the traditional system dying? Because I seen a buck that was harvested on this land the other day. It was in a whole different caliber. I mean, we're talking probably a 5-6-year-old deer that is the biggest buck I've ever seen. And I've spoke with this guy before, and he uses all these trail cameras. He's got cameras everywhere. And basically, I mean, it was dinging. The cameras were he's watching them. You know, he's dinging. He watched them 4 times come out in the daytime. All the guesswork is gone. He knows right where he's at. He knows his pattern. He knows where he's daylighting. And he simply just went out there 3 hours after the trail camera dinged. He was bedded down close to the camera and shot him at 4 p.m. It was super simple. said, he's hunting less, he's working less hard, he's getting more done around the house. You know, that all sounds good except the part where you're hunting less. I like to be in the woods. I like to hunt. I like to hunt different situations too. So like right now I'm hunting on the ground. I expect to shoot this deer at 20 yards. And I chose to hunt in the afternoon. I have no intel. I'm just going by scrapes and rubs, fresh rubs. And over the last few years, I've watched the caliber of deer go up. So I think it's only a matter of time that I start using these cameras too.